Welcome back, Alphas. You were never meant to blend in. You were never built to be average. You were engineered in the shadows, hardened by silence, sharpened by isolation, and tempered in the fires of every betrayal life threw your way. And now, the secret is leaked. The world knows. They whisper in fear. They ask who's protecting you, who shields you when the knives come out. But the truth is colder than they can handle. The answer is simple. No one is protecting you, because you don't need protection. You are the sword. You are the fire. You are the reckoning they never saw coming. They thought they could keep you buried, quiet, small, but you were never soil. You were stone, and when they tried to cover you, they just laid the groundwork for something monstrous to rise. You waited, you listened, and now you move, because something inside of you has snapped, not broken, awakened. This world is designed for submission. From the day you're born, they hand you a script. Smile here, nod there, work 9 to 5. Don't ask too many questions. Keep your head down. Be polite, be silent. But deep in your chest, there's always been static, a growl waiting to explode into thunder. You don't want their permission. You're not interested in approval. You were born to dominate, not to beg for a seat at a table you were meant to own. Let them be afraid. Let them gossip, speculate, tremble behind their fake confidence and shallow victories. Because you don't move like prey anymore. You move like a goddamn weapon, and what they fear most isn't what you say. It's what you do in silence. It's how you walk into a room and shift the gravity. It's how you don't break, even when everything around you is designed to crush you. The secret is out. You're not one of them. You're built from different material. They run from fire. You were born in it. They break under pressure. You sharpen. They depend on comfort. You feed on pain. Your mind is chaos wrapped in discipline. Your soul is an echo of every dark night you survived alone. That's why they're terrified. Because deep down they know they can't stop what's coming. You. This is your warpath. This is the storm they prayed would never arrive. But it's too late now. You've already stepped into the arena. You've already stared down your demons and smiled. You've already tasted the bitterness of betrayal, the sting of failure, and the cold silence of abandonment. And you used every second of it to build your empire in the shadows. Now the lights are on, and they see you for what you truly are. An apex, a menace, a legend in motion. And legends don't need to explain themselves. They conquer. They obliterate. They rewrite the script in blood and grit and silence. So when they ask who protects you, tell them this: I protect me. And that should scare you. They should have never let you suffer. That was their first mistake. Because in trying to bury you, they gave you something far more dangerous than comfort. They gave you purpose. A dark, unrelenting, unforgiving purpose. Now you walk differently. Not with arrogance, but with intent. Not with noise, but with volume. The kind of volume that comes from silence so thick it becomes a presence. You don't have to speak for people to feel you. Your energy announces you long before your shadow arrives. They whisper that you've changed, that you're cold now, ruthless, calculated, good. That means it's working. That means you've evolved. That means you've accepted the truth. The real world isn't fair. It doesn't reward kindness without strength, and it doesn't recognize love unless it's earned in blood. You gave the world everything once, your loyalty, your heart, your dreams, and it spit in your face. Now you give nothing. Now you take. You take every opportunity. Every breath of doubt they exhale, you inhale like oxygen. Every no they throw, You forge into fuel. You don't cry about closed doors anymore. You burn the building down and build your own gate. Because you finally understand that the only justice in this world is the one you create. The only real protection you'll ever have is your hunger, your obsession, your discipline. You're not afraid of being alone. You welcome it. Because in solitude, you became lethal. In silence, you became strategy. In darkness, you became unstoppable. They were right to be scared. Because now that the secret's out, there's no cage that can hold you. No doubt that can stop you. They see you rise and they don't understand how. They think it's luck. They think it's timing. But they don't see the nights you bled in silence. They don't see the rage you swallow with a smile. They don't understand that every calm breath you take is a war you've already won inside your own head. You've been fighting battles before the sun comes up. You've buried versions of yourself that were built to please others. Now, you've become something far more terrifying, a version built to win. You move like a storm with a plan, calculated chaos. Every word, every step, every breath, on purpose. Because now you see what they tried to hide. Power doesn't beg. Power doesn't wait. Power doesn't ask. It takes, and you're done waiting. You're done playing small to keep others comfortable. You're done pretending you don't see through the lies, the fake smiles, the passive envy, the subtle sabotage. You see it all now, and it fuels you. You know what scares them the most? Not just that you're strong, not just that you're focused, but that you're immune now. Immune to the manipulation, immune to the pity traps, immune to guilt. You don't need to explain yourself anymore because you finally realize the loudest power is self-possession. They can't gaslight someone who knows exactly who they are. They say you're too much. Damn right you are. Too much for the weak, too much for the tame, too much for the world that told you to shut up and shrink. You've become the storm they can't forecast, the danger they can't calculate, the variable that doesn't fit in their equation. You're chaos, refined, trained, and focused. And now the mask is off. No more pretending, no more holding back, no more fake smiles at fake people with fake intentions. You don't owe anyone comfort at the expense of your ambition. You don't owe anyone your softness while they sharpen their knives behind your back. You've played that game, and you lost years you'll never get back. Not anymore. Because here's the truth that no one's ready to say out loud. You don't get to be great without scaring some people. You don't get to rise without unsettling the ones still sleeping. You don't get to evolve without offending those who refuse to. Let them be scared. Let them talk. Let them question who's backing you, who's protecting you, who's funding this monster you've become. Here's the answer. Pain. Pain built me. Discipline trained me. Isolation refined me. And silence taught me how to listen, how to move, how to strike. You want to know who protects me? My scars, my grit, my obsession with being undeniable. That's who. They want to know what you're made of. Let them find out the hard way. Let them keep guessing. They think there's someone behind you, someone in the shadows pulling strings. What they don't understand is that you are the shadow. You are the architect of your own evolution. Every setback, every betrayal, every loss was just raw material. And you became the craftsman. You carved your name into the bones of your past. You made armor out of wounds. You made fire out of silence. You made a monster that doesn't blink anymore. People like you aren't born. You're forged. You didn't wake up like this. You were burned alive in your own mind 1,000 times. You walked through doubt like it was smoke and dared it to suffocate you. You tore through failure like it was paper and dared it to stop you. You're not fearless. You just made fear irrelevant. You trained yourself to move forward even with it clawing at your throat, because hesitation is death, doubt is death. And you refuse to die. Now they look at you and call it arrogance. They call it ego. They call it intensity. But you know what it really is? Revenge. Not revenge on them. Revenge on the version of you that waited, that begged, that hoped. That was kind when kindness wasn't returned. That said yes when it should have walked away. You look in the mirror now and see not just strength, but rage disguised as resolve, controlled destruction, calculated fury. This is what they fear. Not the noise you make, but the damage you can do without saying a word. You're not hunting approval. You're hunting results. You don't care who understands anymore. Understanding is for the herd. You're not the herd. You're the apex predator. And predators don't explain why they're dangerous. They just move. They just dominate. They just win. They feel it when you walk in. It's in your eyes. Dead calm. Not because you're cold, but because you've been through so much fire. Nothing rattles you anymore. You've buried fear in silence. You've outlasted every person who thought they could break you. You don't flinch anymore. You don't blink. You don't ask. You take. That's what happens when you've watched everything burn and still stood tall. When people left and you still showed up. When failure laughed in your face and you grinned back. That's when you stop caring what people think and start living like you were meant to. Ruthless, relentless, unrepentant. This version of you, it's not polite. It's not digestible. It's not marketable. It doesn't sell dreams. It creates nightmares for anyone who ever doubted you. And it should, because you're not here to be liked. You're here to be legendary. You're not here to fit in. You're here to shatter the mold. And when people finally realize you're not asking for respect, you're demanding it. That's when the fear turns to awe. That's when the whispers turn into silence. Because they know now, you're protected by your own ruthlessness, by your refusal to quit, by your war-born discipline, by your hunger to become immortal in a world full of cowards looking for comfort. You've outgrown their world. Their rules don't apply anymore. While they beg for validation, you're building kingdoms out of rejection. While they seek shortcuts, you're mastering pain. While they run from the grind, you live in it. You don't care about timelines. You care about legacies. You don't measure days. You measure dominance. And every move you make now is a warning shot to the weak. Don't confuse silence with softness. This silence is loaded. Now the secret is out, and it's irreversible. They know you're not backed by luck, by charm, or by luck of the draw. You're backed by a different force entirely. The version of you that nobody believed in. The version that refused to die in the quiet. That version whispers to you every morning, keep going. They don't even know what's coming. Because the truth is, the people who ask who's protecting you are still stuck in a world where strength comes from outside. They haven't learned yet that the deadliest kind of strength comes from within. They haven't learned that you are the threat. You are the consequence. You are the storm they thought they had more time to prepare for, but they ran out of time. There's no going back now. You've crossed the threshold, and you didn't come here to participate. You came here to dominate. You didn't rise through permission. You clawed your way through every locked door, every slammed gate, every wall they built thinking you'd turn around. They thought they were protecting themselves by excluding you. What they did was ignite something they can't contain. They're terrified because they know something now. You don't have a leash. You don't need a leash. You've become something no system can tame. No person can manipulate. No weakness can seduce. Your loyalty, it has a price now, and that price is respect. Your time, it's no longer up for auction. Your energy, guarded like gold. because you've seen how cheaply people treat what you give freely. So now, you give nothing without cost, because you know your worth, and they can't afford you. When they ask who's backing you, who's bankrolling you, who's protecting you, smile, because that question alone tells you everything. It tells you they still don't understand. They still think you need permission to be powerful. They still think someone has to choose you. Let them think that. While they waste time waiting to be picked, you've already taken the throne and set fire to the ceremony, because you weren't built for approval. You were built for war. The long kind. The kind fought inside your skull, every night, every morning, every time the voice of doubt tried to convince you to quit. You fought every version of yourself that wanted to shrink, to stay small, to play nice. And now, all that's left is the version that refuses to bow. You don't follow paths anymore. You carve them, through pain, through rejection, through abandonment, through mockery, through every door that slammed shut in your face. You made an entrance anyway. You walked through the ashes of no and made "watch me" your mantra. They tried to silence you, and all they did was give you time to listen to your own voice. And that voice became a roar. Now that roar follows you into every room, into every decision, into every arena. And that's why they're afraid, because they've only known how to fight noise with noise. But you became the silence that swallows everything. You became the void where weakness evaporates. You became the kind of person who doesn't need to scream to be heard. You speak in actions now. You speak in precision. And that makes you lethal. They think you're alone. They think you have no backup. But here's what they don't get. You are your backup. Your mind is your fortress. Your pain is your army. Your obsession is your general. You've trained yourself to be so dangerous that even when it's just you against the world doesn't stand a chance. There's no flinch left in your reflexes, no softness left in your spine, no apology left in your tone. You don't bend to expectations. You break them. You don't fear judgment. You outwork it. And when you show up now, it's not just a presence, it's a warning. Everything changes when you enter, because the secret they're trying to contain has already gone viral. You are not safe. You are not tame. You are not theirs to label. You are the future they prayed would never get this far. And now you're here, fully formed, fully focused, fully unchained. Let the cowards scramble. Let the snakes slither. Let the liars spin their stories. You have no interest in gossip, in drama, in mediocrity dressed as normalcy. You're hunting legacy, hunting immortality, hunting greatness, not for applause, but because it's the only thing that feels right anymore. You don't care about fame. You care about results. You don't want their spotlight. You want the crown. They can't help but watch now. Even the ones who tried to forget you. Even the ones who left you bleeding in your worst moments. They're all watching. Because they can feel it. Your name's already bigger than their doubt. Your energy is already rewriting the rules of the game. You made it through everything they thought would destroy you. And you came back smiling. That's not survival. That's domination. So when they ask again who's protecting you, give them the only answer they deserve. My grind protects me. My vision protects me. My scars protect me. My madness protects me. I protect me. And that should scare the hell out of you. Because I've stopped playing human, and I've started playing God. They thought the story was over, that you said all you had to say. But they don't understand how hunger works. You don't stop because you're full. You stop when the table breaks beneath the weight of what you've built. And even then, You don't rest. You rebuild it. Bigger, heavier, sharper. Because that's the real secret. There is no finish line. No throne to settle into. No, I made it to melt into. The summit you reach only gives you a better view of your next target. You don't live in comfort. You live in motion, in tension, in the friction between who you are and who you still need to become. And the truth? That hunger is forever. They couldn't handle one version of you. And now they're learning there are many. The disciplined killer, the silent thinker, the obsessive creator, the tactician, the storm, the calm, the violence beneath the smile. And all of them live inside you, working together like wolves in the same pack, loyal only to your next evolution. The world doesn't know what to do with someone like that. Someone who doesn't break when life beats down. Someone who builds muscle out of pressure. Every room you walk into, you carry that presence, that gravity. People feel you, not because you talk loud, but because you've walked through hell with your spine straight and came out without asking for applause. You survived without ceremony. You improved without witnesses. You won without noise. And that makes you dangerous in ways they'll never measure. Let them study your moves. Let them copy your style. Let them pretend they're walking the same path. But deep down, they know. They didn't pay the price you paid. They didn't bleed the way you bled. They didn't die in the silence you drowned in. You earned this. They imagined it. So now, when they ask, "Who's protecting you?" you laugh. Because they still think you're playing the same game. They still think you're hoping for safety, for shields, for someone bigger to back you. But you're not looking to be saved. You're the one who burns the village to protect the kingdom. You are the weapon people prayed they'd never need. And now they realize you've been here the whole time, watching, waiting, growing, plotting. You don't beg for mercy. You manufacture outcomes. You don't fear the dark. You own it. You don't need allies. You command them. And when it comes time to strike, you don't blink. You detonate. Because this isn't about being powerful. It's about becoming inevitable. That's what makes you terrifying. Not just that you've survived everything they threw at you, but that you've made yourself impossible to stop now. And there's not a soul left alive who can pretend they didn't see it coming. You warned them, in silence. And now, you're not coming. You've already arrived.